Good afternoon. I'd like to call our recess meeting back to order at this time. And it's a meeting on May the 5th at 7 p.m. It was a recess meeting. And at this time, I would ask for invocation from Commissioner McIntyre.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's all bow, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for the beautiful days we have and the opportunities that life has afforded us. We just ask that you bless this meeting, bless this board, so that the decisions we make will be in the best interest of our citizens and that will be pleasing to you. We also ask those same blessings upon our national and state level leaders. And please be with our soldiers, military, wherever they may be and whatever their work is, that they're protecting our right to meet as we do tonight. Again, bless this meeting. These things we ask in Christ's name for his sake. Amen. And if you will stand, please, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I do have one add-on to the agenda. It'll be item, let's make it 2A or 2B or whatever. Let's make it 2A. Don't have anything as 2. We'll just have 2, and then 2A will be the sales tax resolution. Are there any other changes or additions to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as changed. Motion made by Vice Chairman Donovan. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McIntyre. All in favor say aye. Motion carried. First item on the agenda is planning and zoning. The presenter will be Michael Sandy, Planning Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board of members, County Manager, how y'all doing tonight? Good. First item on the agenda for rezoning is ZA 14-02. Dakota R. Smith is requesting rezoning from RA Residential Agriculture to M1 Light Manufacturing District. He wished to rezone a 3.2 acre portion of a 5.89 acre tract of land from RA to M1, tax record 7359. Property is located on the east side of McLester Road, approximately 3/4 of a mile southeast of its intersection with Liberty Hill Church Road. The purpose of this request is to operate a business which would be an office and shop facilities for a concrete flat work business onto the property. Property surrounding are zoned RA Residential Agricultural. There are no public utilities serving this property currently, and this property is not located in a regulated floodplain or in a water supply watershed. Traffic on this section of McLester Road has not been studied by NCDOT, but we're estimating about 400 cars per day. Planning Board forwarded this case to County Commissioners with a favorable recommendation due to the fact the property is located in one of our growth areas, and the requested change would be in accordance with the land use plan. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions of Michael?
Mr. Chair, I've got a couple of things, but I think one of the things that we're being told here is that this is located in a growth area. And when I went to the long-range plan recommendations map for the 2010 land use plan, I noticed that it was in an area that's yellow and labeled sustainability area. So I would just encourage us to be mindful that we do have areas that where we're encouraging growth, and we do have areas that we're discouraging growth, and then we have some areas kind of in between. And I've spoken with Michael about this. I would have thought this area, this particular site, would be one of those areas in between, and I just want us to be mindful of that, and maybe be looking at that. And I may have another comment or two after you hold the public hearing, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else? If not, I'll declare the public hearing open at this time. Anyone like to speak for or against, come forward at this time. Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. What's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we approve this.
Motion made by Commissioner Shudo for approval. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Commissioner Morton. Are there any other discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is when may be the right time to make a couple of comments. I am not opposed to this gentleman and this particular proposal coming forward tonight, mainly because I don't think that we've established any kind of other direction. There are a couple things I think that we need to be mindful of, and one is that in our Stanley County land use principles, we talk about the fact that we want to encourage land use patterns that provide a compact mix of land uses. We also speak about how we want to cooperate and support developments of our towns and things of that nature. I think that it's important for us to, particularly as we're looking at regional planning efforts like Connect and other things, that we are mindful of whether we're being responsive and contributing to smart regional plans, smart county plans, and supporting our principles as we make these decisions. And I know that lots of times we get these decisions kind of one-off, and it's hard for us to see it all together as a big plan. But I hope that we're certainly doing that and encouraging that kind of growth. I don't know what kind of septic area this building is going to use. On our map that we were provided, there is a residential area plan behind it, and there is a septic field identified. I've spoken with Michael about this. The health department in the county has had a practice of allowing septic fields that cross property lines in the past to be utilized. That sounds to me a little dangerous and maybe not something that may want to be utilized moving forward. But I just would encourage this board and future boards to be maybe more responsible, more active as we set policies and establish how we're going to be developing moving forward. I would like to see us encourage growth within the town centers, and that we encourage folks to move in there, especially as that supports their tax base, just as these companies, as they grow, support the county tax base. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item is the NCACC legislation update video for May. Presenter is Andy Lucas. It's a 5-minute video, so we don't have popcorn for you, but we're going to watch the video anyway.
At our 2014 County Assembly Day, which will be held May 28th. County Assembly Day is your chance to lobby your state legislators on issues of importance to counties. To show you how important it is for you to be involved in our advocacy efforts, your board of directors agreed to waive the early registration fee for county commissioners this year. That means it won't cost your county anything for you to attend. We have an exciting agenda. Senate President Pro Tem Phil Berger and Speaker of the House Thom Tillis have again been invited to speak, and we have a panel of political experts to discuss the current mood of the General Assembly. County Assembly Day is your chance to hear from state legislative leaders and to lobby your delegates here in Raleigh. Please don't miss this opportunity to help the association achieve your goals. I look forward to seeing you in Raleigh on May 28th.
The Association of County Commissioners membership established goals for the current 2-year legislative cycle, and we accomplished many of these goals last year. The second year of the legislative session offers a shorter time frame for us to work on the remainder of your agenda, so we asked members to prioritize outstanding goals to narrow our focus. You told us to concentrate on one goal: reinstate lottery funds for school construction. Counties use part of the proceeds from the North Carolina Education Lottery to build new schools to ease overcrowding and to repair and renovate older schools to better serve students and teachers. Since the lottery's inception, it has contributed $972 million towards these purposes. Unfortunately, economic conditions and growing education needs have caused a diversion of funds intended for school capital needs to other educational uses. For the past several years, counties have received a little over half of that amount that the original law determined for school construction. In the meantime, the backlog of construction and renovation needs has grown. Counties have also had to shift money from elsewhere in their budgets to make debt payments they had planned to cover with lottery proceeds. With your help, your advocates will work to reinstate the original language in state law requiring 40% of lottery proceeds to be used for school construction and to achieve a partial increase in the actual dollar amount for that purpose, with the funds gradually increasing over several years to the full 40%. We have heard from legislators that they are receiving this message from their commissioners. Thank you for your efforts up to this point. Achieving this goal will be challenging. The state has many competing needs, and revenue for the coming fiscal year likely will not be as healthy as anticipated. Please continue to explain to your legislators the value of the lottery funds to the residents of your county.
In addition to advocating on behalf of counties, your association also monitors legal cases with potential statewide impacts to county government. 2 such matters from our risk management pools were recently argued before the North Carolina Supreme Court. In both cases, NCACC filed amicus, or friend of the court briefs, to inform the Supreme Court of the specific impacts these cases could have on county government operations. One case involved a county's ability to utilize governmental immunity, while another case involved workers' compensation for a temporary employee. Both cases were appealed because the Court of Appeals decided in favor of the plaintiffs who were suing the county. The NCACC will continue to monitor these and other cases and will inform counties about the outcomes and potential impacts on counties as these matters are decided. Please keep NCACC informed of legal issues in your county that may have effect on other counties. As always, we truly appreciate your feedback and support.
Keynote speaker Neil Peterson will bring to life his round-the-world journey as a solo yacht racer during Friday's opening general session, building real-world lessons from his experiences. Plenary speaker Dr. Vincent Cavello, a leading expert in the field of crisis communication, will address building, repairing, and maintaining public trust in government during Saturday's second general session. The association is also continuing its Youth Leadership Development Initiative with the 5th Annual Youth Summit, which will bring together youth delegates ages 14 through 19 on Friday and Saturday of the conference. Please recognize your county's youth delegate at a Board of Commissioners meeting prior to the annual conference. Registration will be available online in early May. We hope to see representatives from all 100 counties this August.
Thank you, Andy. The next item on the agenda is the quarter cent sales tax resolution. On the first line, we need to, where it says 1/4 of % but cent, and then mark through the 25%. It's 1/4 of a cent. And down in the section 3, second sentence, Stanley County Board of Elections is hereby directed, not requested. We've directed them to do this for us, not requested. And that's the only changes I've got in it that we see. That's just wording. It's not, might be a little misleading. Do what? It's the section 3 sentence, the second sentence, Stanley County Board of Elections is hereby directed, not requested.
Mr. Chairman, on section 4, talking with Jenny, substantially needs to be marked out. Right there, it shall be as follows. Thank you.
Yes.
It's actually .025.
That would be a cent too, that's not percent. That would be pretty steep.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
we're going to check the mathematician. I think .25% is correct. Hold on. Yeah, the percent means marked out, but yeah, but it's actually quarter. Yeah, it's a quarter of a cent, right? Hold on.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm looking at General Statute 105-537, and it actually does say 0.25% in Section 4.
Anything else? Any other discussion? What's the pleasure of the board? Motion made by Commissioner Morton to be approved as amended. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Ashudo. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
So move.
Motion made by Commissioner McIntyre for approval as presented. Do I hear a second? Seconded by, was that Commissioner Ashudo? Commissioner Ashudo. All in favor, say aye. Motion carried. It's now time for public comment. Anyone who want to come speak at this time sure can. Well, I don't see any, so we're going to start. Let's see, which way did I start last time? Okay. Commissioner Ashudo, I'll start with you then.
No, the only thing I would like to do is maybe in the future that maybe County Attorney Jenny can maybe give us some direction on how we utilize our emails when communicating with each other and stuff. On how many people we could send it to, what topics and stuff like that. Or yeah, if you say if you want to do it, or in the future, if you want to do it now.
Okay. My understanding is if you wanted to email the entire board, as long as multiple board members do not reply back and forth, then that is acceptable. Like if Andy wanted to email all of you at one time, that's acceptable. If you wanted to reply to an individual, like if you wanted to email Commissioner McIntyre, that is acceptable. If it's a group discussion in email going back and forth with 3 or more commissioners, that would not be acceptable, is a general rule of thumb. And I'll be glad to provide additional guidance if you would like. That's a quick overview.
So the question, in other words, one commissioner can send it out to everybody. It's no big deal. They can send something out to everybody, but we can't reply all. Because if 3 reply all,
Correct.
then it's like a whole, okay, just want to.
Always reply, just whoever.
Yeah.
Correct.
And just to provide clarification from what Jenny's saying, I think not only just replying all, if you respond to Commissioner Donovan and then Commissioner Donovan sends an email to Josh and then Josh comes back to you, Lindsay, and then he responds to you, you really have a 3-way communication there, and I believe that would constitute a meeting as well. And so I think it's fine to have a direct communication with one individual, but I think once you start connecting dots and having 3 or more part of a conversation, I think that's when you could potentially run afoul to the public statute as that's how I've been taught. So.
Commissioner Donovan.
When Commissioner McIntyre had the high school students come up here about a month or so ago, one of the questions that was asked us is basically, what do you do as a county commissioner? I had one of those weeks where I had a lot to do, and Andy and I went to the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Economic Development Symposium on Tuesday and Wednesday in Raleigh. We left there, and I went to the Charlotte Regional Partnership meeting that was held in Concord on Tuesday afternoon. Then, as Tony took my place at an EDC breakfast on Thursday morning, I went over to Council of Governments, Central Line Council of Government strategic planning session, and I could report a lot about what went on, but by and large, I just want to say that we are encouraged all across the board to continue to make sure that Stanley County is putting its best foot forward, and that we're making ourselves a desirable location for economic development, and to encourage regional responsiveness to work with others in our region. A lot of what was said at the symposium, and I thought they did a great job and got some excellent speakers there. But one of the things that they said is exactly what we talked about at a retreat, and also that was discussed at the EDC retreat, and that is that we need to make sure that we have some product here in Stanley County. No one is going to come here if they don't have any place to come. And so we need to make sure that we have either sites or buildings for them to be looking at. And so I hope that the commissioners and the EDC will be looking at that more during the rest of the year. Another interesting thing I thought from the symposium was that they were talking about agriculture quite a bit, and there is a farm school that was begun in Davidson County and serve the counties right around Davidson, and they're looking through the Cooperative Extension to provide such a school here in our region that might serve Rowan, Cabarrus, Stanley, Union, Anson counties, and maybe one or two others. But I hope that if that opportunity comes, that we will certainly encourage that, because that's an opportunity for particularly young farmers or people who own land, small tracts of land, even 25 to 50 acres, can get into some business related to the agricultural economy. And the other thing that was also a part of that was, how do we begin exporting? 95% of the world market is outside of the United States. So we need to be looking at how we take products that are generated here and move them overseas. And of course, that's a ball of string, because that involves a whole lot of things, transportation being one of the most important aspects of that. How do we get our products to port, number one? And so there's a lot of things to be working on there. I also want to just, I guess, plug the Central Line Council of Governments for just a minute. I think that some of the things that they're doing, especially those things that are tied in to Connect, are really providing both a regional and possibly even beyond benefit. We're looking at trying to get some funds that might do a freight study, and a freight study is getting those products in and out of our region, but it's also taking some of the tractor-trailer trucks off the road, and maybe even some of the other things off the road that might help us to have less times that we can drive. I mentioned last time, my wife drives to South Charlotte. It took her 2 hours again this morning to get there, and that's just, that's crazy. That's where the jobs are. We know that Charlotte's an economic engine, so we've got to do a better job of making sure that employees throughout the region can get to where they work. They're also applying for a grant from the federal government that, if they get the grant, will provide a lot of symbiotic relationships within the region related to economic development, and also will provide people in our region a direct contact with cabinet level folks in Washington that might enhance our economic development activities. And so I would just encourage us to continue to stay connected with that. No pun intended there on Connect, but Connect is offering that opportunity tomorrow morning here in Albemarle at Stanley Agri-Civic Center from 9:30 to 11:30 for you to go out there and weigh in and provide ideas to the scenarios that they've looked at and the growth opportunities that may come. So I'd certainly encourage each of you to do that. And I know this may not get out in time for the public to see this broadcast, but hopefully even on the radio in the morning, they might encourage folks to attend that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Morton?
No comments.
Commissioner McIntyre?
Just would encourage everyone that hears this, tomorrow's the day to exercise your right, so go vote.
I was going to say that, but you beat me to it, so I don't have a comment. Ms. Jenny?
No comment, sir. Thank you.
How about you, Mr. Lucas?
No comment, sir.
Well, at this time, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss a real estate transaction in accordance with GS 143-318.11, little a parentheses 5.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
made by Vice Chairman Donovan, seconded by Commissioner McIntyre. All in favor, say aye. We're in closed session.
And just for the press's purposes and the public, that is for, that's a real estate transaction. And the property owner is the town of Oak Borough, and the property will be used for a wastewater treatment plant.